She's really playful. And when she is that way, it kind of connects me to like my playful side. I'm a playful person. And so when she's kind of bringing out her humor and her joy, it allows me to kind of do the same thing. And we kind of get lost in that.
She's incredibly creative. She's really spirited. She's super funny and crazy observant. I'm always shocked how much she brings me to the present moment and how much she notices and observes things that are really beautiful that I might just have missed prior to her entrance in the world. And being 4 is it's just a really fun stage. So I just love how she sees the world, and oftentimes very entertaining. She's very blunt. She says what she means. Mm-hmm. She says what she feels, and it's just really wonderful.
Math was challenging. Mainly, when I think about my experience, my parents had just kind of really rigid and high expectations for like my performance in math. And so a lot of times when I would get ready to do a math assignment, especially like between the grades of like 1 through 5, I would have like some anxiety. And when I would approach those problems, I could do them to a certain point, and then like my anxiety or fear would take over. But luckily, at the same time, my parents made sure that we did like enriching activities over the summer. So there was a lot of routine with math. There was a lot of like practice. So that kind of helped me move past my anxiety. But I'm still unlearning that anxiety around math.
I had a really complicated relationship with math. And what's really interesting is I reflect back and think about how a teacher's perception of my performance mathematically really influenced me. So in 5th grade, I got put on the advanced math track in my school and went into that program. In 7th grade, had a less effective educator who I really struggled with. And I think that I fell behind and literally never caught up. And so I developed a relationship with math that I didn't even know what I didn't know. I didn't know how to ask questions about math. Yeah. I felt so lost that I couldn't even necessarily access assistance from my teachers because I was so confused and so behind that I think I had a lot of learned helplessness. I just gave up. And that has stuck with me since middle school, right? So I very much see that as a part of my identity, that I am someone who is not good at math.
We have been intentional about how we frame math. Yeah. And we're not trying to swing, I'm not trying to swing the pendulum so far to where like it's like low expectations, but what it is, it's play, right?
Mm-hmm. It's problem solving.
It's problem solving. It's like math in the environment, right? Yep. Like stuff that is sticky and not tied to like some sort of like future catastrophe around like not knowing math, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that she's just naturally so curious about math and how the world works, and so it lends itself really nicely to just her exploration of or like interest in math. She wants to count quantities, she wants to manipulate numbers, she wants to just figure out how the world works through math.
We try to like frame her interests in ways that are sticky, right? And so when she is doing a math thing, we might say, you know, I can tell that you really are into numbers. Wow, you really like to play with numbers, right? And so she can start to notice that in herself. And it's not about us being like, do the next problem. What I would say to educators today is, 1, keep it light. 2, make math sticky, like tie it to concepts in the environment. And 3, infuse joy into math. Math doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to be existential. Like, keep it light. Keep it tied to relationships.